Conor McGregor's return has been announced. He will be facing Max Holloway at International Fight Week in July. Now, this got announced last week, and of course, I'm late to react to it as always. Look, guys, I'm East African. It's in our blood to always be late, which sucks. But we're here now. We're here now. Conor is coming back. Look, I'm excited and everything. I'm a Conor fan, but this is a huge mistake by the UFC because Conor has zero chance of coming out of this fight with a W. I mean, guys, Conor is cooked in this fight, and the UFC is cooked and brainless for even making this fight. I heard Ariel Helwani talk about this fight before it got announced. He mentioned that this is the fight that they're looking for. This is the fight that is already at the finish line. This is the fight that is going to get booked and it's about to be announced. And obviously, Ariel Helwani is a pretty reputable source, but in my head, I'm like, why would they make this fight? Now, Conor McGregor is coming off a loss to Dustin Poirier 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And how did he lose? Via broken leg. He snapped his shin in half and broke his leg. And it's just, that's one of the toughest things to come back from. It's like you had Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman, coming back from those type of injuries. And, they're just never the same, especially looking at Anderson Silva. Silva was never the same. And Silva came back maybe a year after that happened. And we're talking about 5 years later for Conor McGregor. Now, what does that mean? What does a broken leg mean? It is a psychological scar for a fighter. Now, calves are, transform the game. There's one of the easiest targets. And for a fighter like Max Holloway, he does throw leg kicks constantly. And Conor, just the state of Conor, Conor's coming back 5 years later. And in those 5 years, he's faced a lot of issues. He's obviously had a huge drug problem. You could see that clearly from his social media postings and his viral moments. And he had legal troubles, during the time off, which I won't get into. You guys know the legal troubles he was in. Overall, just a party lifestyle. He has this huge whiskey brand, the Forge Irish Stout bar, pub in Ireland. And he's just not a full-time athlete anymore. And a lot of that comes down to him just being rich beyond belief. He's obviously the richest UFC fighter of all time and one of the richest athletes in the world. So where's the motivation? Where is the motivation? This is a sport where you need to constantly be motivated and outwork your opponents each and every day. And Conor McGregor, he hasn't trained year round since 2021. He's a 38-year-old fighter. By fight night, he'll be 38. And a lot of people, who predict Conor has a chance, they're always like, oh, that left-hand threat, the power he has in the left hands, the precision, the speed. Guys, that goes away when you're 37, 38. The reaction time is gone. He's just not a high-level athlete anymore. You even see this from, 35, 36, 37-year-olds who do still train. Like, look at Leon Edwards. Look at Bilal Muhammad. Look at the fall-offs of the top-level welterweights in just a couple of years once they turn 35, 36. Just the fall off in their athleticism. And these are fighters that have been training year round, are committed to the game. Now you're looking at Conor McGregor, who hasn't been training over the last 5 years, and he is going to be 38 by the time this fight happens. And guys, we can talk about Conor all we want, right? But then across the octagon, you have Max Holloway still in his prime, competing at the highest level. For the past 5 years straight, while Conor was recovering, Conor was out partying on yachts, everywhere, traveling, having viral social media moments while being, off of, a certain particular drug that we all know him for. Holloway, in that time span, in the last 5 years, he's beat Yair Rodriguez, Arnold Allen, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, the man that beat, Conor twice before Conor left for the last 5 years. Conor's last two fights were losses to Dustin Poirier. And Holloway picked him apart on the feet and basically won all 5 rounds almost. And I don't know, guys. I don't know why they made this fight. Now, the fight will be at 170, which a lot of people say that's to the benefit of Conor. Conor did put on size. He is bigger than Holloway, but Conor's size is not healthy weight. It's not weight that will translate to optimal performance in the octagon. It's just being big and putting on size. Look, Holloway will be the faster fighter, and he won't cut. I don't think he'll cut any weight, actually. So not only will he be the faster fighter, he will also have his most peak power, right? He won't be cutting any weight, so the power he possesses will be at his peak. And Holloway is not the type of fighter who, he fights smart. So he will target the leg kick. If any guys think he will have any type of sympathy for, Conor McGregor's, shin being broken 5 years ago and not target that, you guys are mistaken. Holloway does not care one bit. I think he will come in there and just go straight for the leg kicks. Holloway's coming off of a embarrassing loss to Charles Oliveira. So he's not coming in there to make friends, to like have a laugh, laugh around with Conor in the ring and slap gloves and all that. No, he's coming in there to show who he is. And that's why I think this fight is a mistake. You know, when Holloway's gonna finish Conor. He's like, this is the most obvious, I think, prediction of the year. Holloway is gonna finish Conor. It's a 5-round fight, so he's gonna. Conor will not last 5 rounds with Max Holloway, a prime Max Holloway at that. And I think this will just kill Conor's hype in terms of future events. Now, it's still Conor McGregor. I think he will still sell good with other fighters, but in terms of looking forward to a Conor W, I think this will kill that hype. And you know, we all wanted a comeback story for Conor McGregor. We just wanted a redemption arc. But I think it's just going to be a sad ending. It's going to be a sad day for the Irish. It's going to be a sad day for the Irish. And, you know, Conor's legacy is already set, you know, but I think UFC's heavily risking his legacy just for one payday. I think their thing is, I think I know why they made this fight. They need someone to feed off of Conor's legacy, right? So if Conor fights someone maybe lower ranked, let's just say Dan Hooker or Michael Chandler or King Green, I think all three of those guys can beat the current Conor McGregor that we have right now. I think they can because they're still training like high level athletes. They're still training. The last 5 years they've been training. You know, you can't make up for training. You can't just not train as an MMA fighter for the last 5 years and come back and expect to beat a UFC fighter. I don't think that works out that way. So their thing is, I think they know Conor probably will lose, so they need someone to feed off of that and to build off that. And Max Holloway is still a top 5 fighter in the lightweight division, and he still has a lot of star power. A lot of that, you know, the viral UFC 300 moment still carries on. Obviously, he's lost a couple since then, but I think he's still a big name in the company, and I think he will feed off of this Conor win and then go on to have bigger fights. But in terms of Conor, I think he will get dominated in this fight. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Conor has any chance here? If he does, what do you think? What is his chances, and like how would he be able to win? I would like to see your thoughts down below. Until next time, I'm out.